wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the Marvin Bagley trade. I know I did cover it a little bit, I believe, this past week. I'm not going to go in depth as I did in the video that I did upload this week, but just kind of talk about it. I think this was a trade for me. When I looked at it, I was kind of surprised by it. I was surprised that they traded Marvin Bagley, and the reason why I was surprised by it was he wasn't a guy that I really thought that the Pistons were going to move on. Now, obviously, what happened with him this season, where he was getting DNPs, and we started to see James Wiseman play more games. Like, I never understood that. And, we get quotes from Monty saying that, hey, we want to give James Wiseman a fresh look. I mean, that's all good and well if you want to do that, but I mean, do it in garbage time, in my personal opinion. Like, if the goal was to try to trade Marvin Bagley, sure. I mean, you could still showcase him. You could still play him. So I was kind of confused that they didn't move on from Marvin Bagley. Isaiah Livers, on the other hand, you guys, like, okay. Like, he's been so bad this season. He was so bad this season for the Detroit Pistons. So I was kind of like, okay, like, he's on a really cheap deal. I don't even think he's making $3 million this year. He's supposed to be a 3D wing, but he doesn't play any defense and he doesn't hit threes. So what is he? Like, I don't know. I was expecting some good things out of him this season, but you look at his numbers, they're just like across the board, they're just down. Like, I was just like, why are we playing Isaiah Livers over Kevin Knox? I didn't understand it. And like, Kevin Knox has been good this season for the Pistons. Like, he's been one of their better 3-and-D wings off the bench for them. I never understood why Livers was playing, but hey, it's kind of my thought process on it. I do like Mike Muscala. I think he brings something that this team doesn't have. I love his veteran leadership. The spacing, so far through the first two games that I've seen from him, I think he's a guy that they could possibly bring back next season. He's always been a really good, under the radar type of veteran. He can play either power forward or center, which I like. I like the ability. If you want to play him at center, you can have a stretch five out there with the second unit. So he's a guy that I've been telling you guys for months, like, you can go after these mid-tier guys that can contribute. And to me, I think Mike Muscala is one of those guys. Now, for Danilo Gallinari, you guys, this is a guy that, yes, he's 35 years old. Yes, the mobility isn't there like it used to be when he was with the Denver Nuggets, but he's a legitimate stretch four. He's the type of stretch four I think the Detroit Pistons need. Would have loved Danilo Gallinari like 5 years ago, if I'm being 100% honest. But he is 35. He's another veteran. Both Muscala and Gallinari are in expiring contracts, but I think that's the type of archetype you need at the power forward position. A guy like Danilo Gallinari who can hit a three-point shot from, 30, 35 feet away. Pretty good free throw shooter, grab a rebound if you need it. And he's at that stage of his career where if you want to play him at backup five and you need more shooting, you can. That's what Washington did a lot last season, or I should say this season. They were playing Gallinari and Muscala both at backup fives in certain situations because they can hit three-point shots and they can stay with some backup centers. So, overall, I gave the trade like a C because I didn't like giving up 2 second-round picks, future second-round picks, I should say. But all in all, I think you saw yesterday what happens when this team has some proper spacing on the floor. I mean, you competed with the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, it was still a loss, but you put up 135 points. And that's saying something. Milwaukee is a contender. Milwaukee is going to go far this season. So I can kind of see what this front office is looking for. They're looking for more spacing, and you get two guys that are on expiring deals, and you can kind of see what this team potentially looks like with some legitimate floor spacers. And, it's two more vets in the room with Bojan and Alec Burks and Monte Morris. So I think all in all, it's a pretty good trade. I was just kind of upset because there was no clarity with Marvin Bagley. I would have liked more than we want to give James Wiseman some reps. Nothing against James Wiseman, really good dude, but it's like, give us some clarity as fans, because like the whole we want to give Wiseman more touches thing, we want to give Wiseman a better look. I just didn't agree with it, and you guys know my stance on that. But like overall, like I think you're starting to see what this team could look like with some actual floor spacers.